Elizabeth Bennet is the protagonist in the 1813 novel Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. She is often referred to as Eliza or Lizzy by her friends and family. Elizabeth is the second child in a family of 5 daughters, though the circumstances of the time and environment push her to seek a marriage of convenience for economic security. Elizabeth wishes to marry for love. Elizabeth is regarded as the most admirable and endearing of Austen's heroines. She is considered one of the most beloved characters in British literature because of her complexity. Austen herself described Lizzy as delightful a creature as ever appeared in print. Background: Elizabeth is the second eldest of the 5 Bennet sisters of the Longbourn estate, situated near the fictional market village of Merry Eton in Hertfordshire, England. She is 20 years old at the beginning of the novel. Elizabeth is described as an intelligent young woman with a lively, playful disposition which delighted in anything ridiculous. She often presents a playful, good-natured impertinence that does not offend. Early in the novel she is depicted as being personally proud of her wit and her accuracy in judging the social behavior and intentions of others. Her father is a landowner, but his daughters cannot inherit because the estate is entailed upon the male line. Upon his death, Longbourn will therefore be inherited by his cousin and nearest male relation, Mr. William Collins, a clergyman for the Rosings estate in Kent owned by Lady Catherine de Bourgh. This future provides the cause of Mrs. Bennet's eagerness to have her daughters married off to wealthy men. Elizabeth is her father's favourite, described by him as having something more of quickness than her sisters. In contrast, she is the least dear to her mother, especially after Elizabeth refuses a marriage proposal from Mr. Collins. Her mother tends to contrast her negatively with her sisters Jane and Lydia, who she considers superior in beauty and disposition, respectively, and does not understand her father's preference. Elizabeth is often upset and embarrassed by the impropriety and silliness of her mother and 3 younger sisters. Within her neighborhood, Elizabeth is considered a beauty and a charming young woman with fine eyes, to which Mr. Darcy is first drawn. Darcy is later attracted more particularly to her light and pleasing figure, the easy playfulness of her manners, her mind and personality, and eventually considers her one of the handsomest women in his acquaintance. Analysis. For the beginning, opinions have been divided on the character, and Isabella Milbank gave a glowing review of the novel, while Mary Russell Mitford criticizes Elizabeth's lack of taste. The modern exegetes are torn between admiration for the vitality of the character and a disappointment of seeing Elizabeth intentionally suppress her verve and submit, at least outwardly, to male authority. Susan Morgan regards Elizabeth's major flaw to be that she is morally disengaged, taking much of her philosophy from her father. Elizabeth observes her neighbors never becoming morally obligated to make a stand. An unconventional character. In her letter to Cassandra dated the 29th of January 1813, Jane Austen wrote, "I must confess that I think her as delightful a creature as ever appeared in print, and how I shall be able to tolerate those who do not like her, at least I do not know." This mix of energy and intelligence, and her gaiety and resilience, make Elizabeth a true Stendhal heroine according to Tony Tanner, and he adds that there are not many English heroines that we can say that of. In popular culture, the character of Elizabeth Bennet, marked by intelligence and independent thinking, and her romance with the proud Mr. Darcy, have carried over into various theatrical retellings. Helen Fielding's novel Bridget Jones's Diary, as well as the film series of the same name, is a modern adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, with Elizabeth as Renée Zellweger's title character. In Gurinder Chadha's Bollywood adaptation In Pride and Prejudice, Aishwarya Rai plays the Elizabeth character, Lalita Bakshi. In the 2008 television film Lost in Austen, actress Gemma Arterton plays a version of Lizzy who switches places with a modern-day young woman. Lily James is set to star as the zombie-slaying Elizabeth Bennet in the film version of Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, a popular novel by Seth Grahame-Smith. The character has most recently been used in the Lizzy Bennet Diaries, a project which is partly headed by YouTube vlogger Hank Green, and depicts Elizabeth as a modern-day woman in America posting video blogs about her life along with her friend Charlotte Lou, a character based on Charlotte Lucas' depictions in film and television. Film/television bibliography. Austen, Jane. Pride and Prejudice. Dent. Howells, William Dean. Heroines of Fiction, Volume 1. Harper & Brothers. pp. 37-48. Narden, Jane. Those Elegant Decorums, The Concept of Propriety in Jane Austen's Novels. Albany, State University of New York Press. ISBN 0873952367.